So you guys been seeing any big bucks out here this year?
No, not well. There's a couple.
Yeah?
A couple out here.
We got a fucking non-typical running around out there at our place. Out in sock. He's got like 20 plus points, and he's got the ones that, you ever seen the ones that when the drop times come and it looks like little fingers? Like the little tiny like nubbins.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, man, it's weird. It looks like a moose antler. You know how it's that wide?
Yeah, it has
so
a
it drops.
spoon on it.
Yeah,
thing.
it like widens out and then has like a ton of little like, and they're just sticking all. It's weird, man, and it's completely non-typical. So it's either like got some kind of genetic deformity, or it's just giant, fucking huge. But I'd still like to shoot it though.
The genetics in it, yeah.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's just a big deer.
Best time of year for food.
Yep. Yeah.
We're already rolling, brother.
Oh,
we're
fuck,
good.
I didn't know that.
I love the element of surprise.
Yeah.
We're talking about hunting. Well, I better check. They're going to just see the
Actually,
side of me. Yep.
Oh, it is? All right,
Yeah,
cool.
we're good.
Yeah.
Got to keep it relaxed. Get the best conversations out.
Yeah, man.
Already? Oh, you're only half.
Yeah.
I can get you another one.
Mm-mm. So you been playing it all?
Not live, no. And like I said, you haven't been on. And this is Jesse Rose, by the way.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
You're on the road all last year with wow, I just drew a blank.
Yeah, the Gabe Stillman band.
Thank you. Sorry, Gabe. I love you.
I was out there last year with him and the year before that too. So
yeah,
we had a pretty good run, and that was definitely cool. At first, it was the transition from playing in a metal band to playing with a band. It was awesome because I would walk into these venues and the floors weren't sticky, didn't smell like piss. I could like leave my stuff sit out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, like it's not gonna disappear or something in a lot nicer places. A lot of places that I wouldn't have got to playing heavy music.
Yep.
And it was a super awesome trip, man. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Got to jam with a ton of cool bands. I traveled all over the country, and Colin, Gabe, and I had a pretty cool vibe, man. And I thought it was a good run. We had the International Blues Challenge that we did in Memphis, which was really cool. Made it all the way to the finals. Got to play at the Orpheum, and we had Shane, our harmonica player, was hanging with us at the time. So it was cool.
Shane who?
Shane the Hurricane Zager. He was a good friend of ours from Boston. Plays with Sting now. So,
really?
Yeah, he ditched us to go play with Sting, which was totally reasonable.
I
don't know, if I had the choice between riding around in a hot, sweaty van with 3 or 4 guys or actually like flying in a jet between my gigs at arenas in Europe, yeah, dude, I'm taking that gig. So.
I think I would too. I would too. I love you guys, but I couldn't do that. No.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer, man. That was definitely, but no, that was a good vibe, man. He added it was a different sound because he didn't play with us full time. He did the Memphis run with us, and then he did a couple other shows here or there, but it just added a little bit of an extra groove, and it was cool for me to do something to show that I was able to play different styles of music that, I got pigeonholed for a long time of just being the metal guy, which I'm cool with that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been called a lot worse things than that, but
that's a good thing to have when you're playing Pantera type style.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Metallica when you're doing that crazy double bass that them feet have.
But it was kind of
my eardrums out every day.
Right, man, and it was hard for me to find something else. Like I started, I want to play the blues. I would play pretty much anything that came down the pike just to try something different. And then the gig just happened to open up, and I've known Gabe for a long time since he started playing, and then Colin and I go back for years. His band Silenus that he played with, this is probably 15 years ago or so. That and our 44 Mags current singer Jared was in that band at the time, so we played a slew of shows together back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Colin and I, in one way, shape, or form, have been playing together for a long time. So we knew each other. We've traveled together. We've played together. So it made
it was a tight camaraderie.
It made things a lot easier when we're traveling. So.
And you know as well as I do, if you have the wrong combination of heads together, being on the road, or being together in any way, shape, or form for any longer period than you have to.
It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. You got to be able to keep the professionalism, but getting along is a big thing, because if not, it implodes real quick. But, with that being said, though, it's to get the opportunity, though, to play I mean, we've played from, all the way up through New York State, in through southern Florida. We played out to Midland, Texas, and in between, and a couple runs in Memphis. So I got to see a lot of the country, play a lot of cool spots, and I was just getting started, and playing with them, and it was just opened up a bunch of new opportunities for me as a musician. I got to meet a lot of cool people from all over the country that I still talk to, a lot of cool bands, and just getting to get my my name out there as someone that could be I could sit down and play with a metal band, I could play with a blues band, a country band, a rock band. It really wouldn't matter, as there's drums. So
because we know your teacher,
I do that as well.
Joseph, man, he got you started. Yeah, you were playing Chattanooga, or what is that movie? Or movie song by Alan Jackson.
Yeah, dude, that's it. That's it. Teaching me my train groove, man.
Yeah,
playing Alan Jackson's.
You played that to your blue in the damn face.
I hated it. I was a 16-year-old kid, and the last thing I wanted to do was play Alan Jackson songs, But I'm glad that I got that exposure early and got to play different styles of music. I got to learn how to play some classic rock, some blues, some country, and all the Latin stuff, because he brought a lot of the different a lot of different stuff to the table that I was glad that him and I, at a young age, we used to butt heads too, because I was like, I had horse blinders on, man. I'm like, I want to play this Slayer song, and I don't care what you say. I don't want to hear anything else. I'm just going to play that, and you're going to shut up, But that's not the way it worked.
Yep, he talked you into it, which he did me.
He did, and I'm glad, because that was another opportunity too that I got. Just from very young, getting to go into a studio at 16 years old or 17, him taking me to, multiple gigs, a lot of different places to where I could meet players and different, all kinds of different ages and backgrounds and genres of music. And I got to get exposed, even the country thing, being able to be, that young and sitting in and playing with those guys. It was good for the, just learning and respecting and enjoying music, and the musicianship that's involved. Now I still, I'm not going to say that I wasn't like, oh man, what, what the heck,
doing this?
What am I doing? But no, I'm glad when I look back at things now, I'm glad I did. And it helps me today also, because when I'm teaching kids, I like to teach different styles. I just don't like them to be, you
don't want to just stay straight metal. You don't want to stay
you got to expand, learn your craft, learn your instrument, learn the art, respect it, appreciate it, and then put your own twist on it then, so that's what I take from all that.
And you've been working for Uptown Music for what, probably 6 years now? Am I wrong?
Oh no, is it more like 12 years.
12 years? It's been that long already.
I started in 2008, yeah.
Oh, it's just after I met you then. Wow, I didn't realize that.
So I've been there for almost 12 years now. And we started off teaching. We weren't at the Collective. We had the all-ages music venue that we ran, and we had some drum studios in the back behind the stage that we taught from.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and then we got moved, after that, shut down, we got moved into the basement next door to the Collective, because the drummers were always the loud, obnoxious ones that just disturb everything. So, but now we have an incredible school that's located on the second floor of the Trade and Transit Center in downtown Williamsport. Yep. They built that a few years ago, and we got to, they got to pick out and design it to fit our needs, which was really cool. We have multiple full-size rehearsal rooms that are tricked out with all the latest equipment. We have a full-on recording studio, video recording lab. We have everything to teach. We teach everything: guitar, vocals, drums, bass. And so to be able to be a part of that too is something.
Watch it grow.
Oh, to watch it, And I started off there. In fact, when they opened, oh man, this was a while ago, but our guitar player in 44 Mag was teaching there. And so I was a teenager, late teenage, probably 17, 18 years old, hanging out, not as a part of the Collective, because our guitar player was there. And so a lot of the people that I play with now, or that work there, we've all known each other forever because of, being a part of the Uptown Music Collective. Yeah. So it's played a huge role in my upbringing as a musician and being able to teach there. And pretty much all the bands I play and everybody I've played with in one way, shape, or form has been involved with or has come from a group of people that either started there or teach there or currently are involved with the Collective. So it's definitely rad, man. I dig it. And I get to work with kids and teach them about music and
Yeah.
give them a chance to hear good music too.
As you sit on that guarantee you put a little Pantera on there. Just listen to this real quick. You like that? You should. All right.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have to watch myself. I don't want to, I don't want a 10-year-old kid rolling home with like Rain and Blood. Hey, Mom, look what,
No, don't do that.
But
don't do that.
yeah, but I see nothing wrong with that. But that's just me.
Yeah, the parents might get a little offended.
Right. So I always tell them, I'll teach certain kids certain song. I'll be like, if you like something, don't be afraid to ask to learn it, whether it'll be a heavy tune or a country tune or anything along those lines, And I've also just recently got into expanding myself, playing different styles of music. I mean, I'm a big reggae guy, and a lot of people don't know that I love reggae music, and so
which I can understand why. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean that's not the main. I mean, I love. But what I dig about reggae music was just like the blues. I mean, the blues was rooted in the culture of the Deep South, and it was strictly American, whereas the reggae music is strictly Caribbean. It comes from the islands. It comes from, and I think that's what's so cool about it is it's very unique. That's why the way I look at it is it's very unique, and it also I love the vibe too. I just like the different styles of playing and listening to the percussion and listening to the different aspects of it. Because a lot of if you listen to a lot of Bob Marley, and Bob Marley used to talk about how he was influenced by early rock and roll from America, And
because he got Elvis and Chuck Berry and stuff. Somehow that made it there, and then he.
Oh yeah, he's been. I mean, he was in. I mean, the early Bob Marley, a lot of the reggae, the music that he wrote came from a lot of the early rock and roll music. From and they put their own spin on it, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
And I just it's different, I can get into that, listen to some more, like reggae or island music. More than I can get into listening to like our modern country, because country music's another thing that's, strictly American. You don't hear of like
right
European country music bands. I mean, I'm sure they're there, but it's not like
that. I'm gonna look that up. See if they have something else.
I'm sure once this goes, people are gonna start dropping. Hey, no, there's lots of them, but it's not known. It's not like Nashville. That's a specific, unique sound that came, from a lot of the early pioneers of country and outlaw country, and it's kind of morphed into what it is today with pop country. But so is reggae. Reggae is morphed into reggaeton and reggae dance. There's all different subgenres, and that's what's cool about it. And I think that just being able to explore different types of music, and explore different styles that they have.
Especially, they were very much left to their own device down there. They're not around it's not like in America where you're 3,000 miles in any direction. You can go to a different city, maybe find something new, something nobody else is doing. They're on their own island, so whatever they got coming to them, plus their traditional music, kind of the same principles as like Ireland and Scotland. I mean, they were very, their instruments and their songs were very condensed until they started getting around the world. And then now today we have like Dropkick Murphys who's put stuff into their things, and added this and that. And
the old Irish music and the Gaelic music and all that was also based in their history. It's how they talked about their, their local history, the family history they have. A lot of their music was based in their culture, and that's unique to that part of the world too. And then you could take bands like you said, like Dropkicks, that can mix it with punk rock or modern hard rock and give it a whole feel in itself. Which reggae's done like that too. There's some reggae metal bands out there. And, it's different. There's some, but it's cool. But it's done well.
Do you know some?
Yeah, Skindred's one. They're from England.
Skindred is?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
they're from England. Yeah, they're from England. And
that explains the sound.
And but they have they mix it, and there's a few other bands if you really get into it. There's a scene that has that, but it's not something that I haven't.
It's not your forte.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of listening to it. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. Yeah. But it's just not. I just haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. So
you're like me. At some point, you will. It's just a matter of time. You hear the right songs, like okay, down the rabbit hole we go.
For sure.
Because I know how you and I are the same in that mentality. It's like we hear something, we like it, and then we get into it. It's like, oh, okay, bring it in. Let's see what else he's doing.
I just can't listen. If I find an artist or a style of music that I really like, I just can't casually listen to it. I have to immerse myself in it.
Exactly.
I become obsessed with it, and it's kind of like it's like that with a lot of anything. I just can't have a hobby to do on the funds to do it sometimes. I have to go deep into it. You know, like I just can't.
Almost obsessed.
Yeah,
or
I
obsessed
just
with
I
it.
can't be like a weekend fisherman.
Yep.
I have to be. I get into it
We can
hard.
do that, too.
And the same with playing drums or anything else that I'm into. It's always been a thing with me. I just like playing music, listening to it. First off, was what got me involved. I mean, from a young kid, I was always listening, but then that was never good enough. I want to do that. I want to play. I want to. You know what I'm saying? And then once I started learning how to play, then it was like, okay, now I want to play in a band, and it just progresses. And then I started playing with a band. Oh, okay, now I want to play shows. And just playing on the weekends wasn't good enough. It just, now I want to tour, and next thing I know, I'm in Europe with my friends, or I'm in Tennessee with another group of people, there's all over, and I'm like,
or down in Florida,
or
South Carolina, wherever the hell
wherever
we're
the
at,
wind. I could be in the Outer Banks one weekend, and the next weekend
Yes.
I'm in, Bonita Springs, Florida, and that was awesome, and that was really cool, and that was just always that natural. I don't know if it was just a tendency I have to kind of,
push it to the next
push it.
level.
It's the way I just always am. I just can't be content with doing it for fun. Well, it's fun, but I always was like, well, what if we do this, and what if we make it bigger? What if we play more and just keep pushing it? So.
Yeah, and you're right too. You have to have kind of that mentality. You have to, because if you get stagnant and comfortable, it's not so much fun anymore. Life isn't as exciting. You have to you have everything you do and you love. You have to push us to that next level.
That's exactly it, and it's not always a good thing though, because there's been lots of times where we've made stupid choices and made dumb decisions based on our want to put, hey, come over here and play with us for this amount of days, and for what? We're talking about like just because we wanted to play. Like going out and playing and never thinking about, we got to make money doing this, or we have to, but that was cool doing it. But there was also just that drive that kind of clouds that responsible decision making at times that has put all of us in professional predicaments where we're thousands of miles from home or across the globe and a tour falls apart or something happens. But that's all the fun in it, man. That's
part of it,
It's life, bro. If it all was cookie cutter, fun and easy, then why would you want to do it?
There's no challenge. You have to have that feeling of accomplishment. Right. You have to have that satisfaction to know that you worked for it and you got it. That's
it, man. Totally. I agree. So it's just, and then, the road thing was cool. And I didn't really start touring, for more than just going out for a couple days when we go out for a run until I was in my mid-30s. Yeah. And so it was a different perspective. Even traveling, doing the blues and doing all that and seeing, the business end of it too, And it was, seeing how it all plays out and how it worked. And we did a lot of traveling in the early days, but never for long periods of time. It wasn't we didn't.
Not weeks on end.
We didn't go for a couple weeks at a time or anything like that. It was a day, 3, a couple days here or there. And so, to be able to do that too, and just, see the side, learn about it, the business end of things too, and how you're really supposed to do things, and what to do and what not to do, and everything involved with it, But in the end, I think it just all comes down to the love of the art, the love of music, and that's why we all do it. Why else? Why else would
if
we
you're in
all?
this business to make money, it's really. There's better businesses to get into to make a lot of money.
Yes, listen to what he said. But then again, you may not make as much money, but at the same time, that sense of free, this fact that I, saw a lot of really cool parts of the country and places that I wouldn't have got to go. What other job are you going to get where you're stuffing in thousands of dollars of equipment into a van to drive hundreds of miles?
Yeah, you're not gonna have that,
man. It's
the only way you're gonna get you're working for some company that ships you all over the place.
Yeah, and that's even.
But you're still not doing what you love because you wake up in the morning, you got to get up early, drive here with equipment in the bag, you go up, bust your ass, get down, go home. We're out there playing instruments that we've been inspired by as kids, which I'm sure we could talk about drumming and flute. I'm just as big a fan of drumming as you are. I love drummers.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into that in a minute. But it's one of those things that's just, and like you were saying too, you have to learn from your mistakes. I mean, when we were younger, if we'd have had a big amount of success happen, maybe we would have slowed down and been able to realize what was going on and learn from our mistakes, or wouldn't have. Now we're a little older. You were able to get out on the road, and if you were to make a mistake, you were more prepared for it. You know what I mean?
Because
I know when you were younger, you're like me. We were a little more wild.
I would probably be dead now. So
Yes.
just, it was just stupid decision making. Just being a dumb kid out there with no kind of just being yourself.
you're
And
free.
I am glad that I got to do it at a little bit at a later point in time, because I could also appreciate it more too.
Right.
And it makes you appreciate just the being able to make a living playing music and entertaining
Doing what you
people.
love. Yeah.
And that's what I think the best part was the crowd. Every night, getting a different group of people, a different, just being
Yes.
able to meet so many people and playing and getting that energy and creating that vibe and creating that feeling and that connection that you get from playing music. And unless you're on stage and you've done it, I can't really explain to people what it's like unless you've experienced
It's
it.
an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
essentially.
It is. And at the same time, it's just about being able to do something or be a part of something that makes people feel good. And just being able to look out and see people dancing, having a good time. And the fact is that what you're creating is creating that positive vibe and that positive energy that I think everyone's missing these days, man.
It's part of it, yes.
Yeah,
Definitely
everything's
part
so
of it.
uptight. Everybody's so just down each other's throats. And that just to be a part of something that gives people a sense of, hey, man, we're having fun. A positive feeling, a sense of forgetting about all of the crap that's going on
5 minutes at least.
Just to enjoy our art and enjoy something that I'm creating with my friends and people that play and are passionate about it just like I am. And that's the best part about it too.
But tell me if I'm wrong on this. Like, I understand what you're saying about like blues with Big
Yeah.
A, but that would that part of it and other concerts. I've been to a lot of the folk stuff and stuff like you have, the country stuff. But when it comes to hard rock and metal, that's another energy. That is a release of negativity, in essence.
Yeah.
Because the pits at those, you know how it is. You hop in a pit, if you can last at a Slayer or Seven Dust or Slipknot, Megadeth, I mean, go down the line of the crazy pits that you and I have been through, and you have that. Metal and hard rock are a different type of release. That is your anger. That you feel that depression, that whatever they're speaking about, and it just releases, and that's you're just letting the fuck go.
I mean,
in a very different way.
Foremost, I eat, bleed, and live for heavy music. I mean, metal is my passion. I mean, I'm straight up to the day I'm dead. I'm going to be playing heavy music and listening to heavy music, and I agree with you. It's a completely different vibe, a whole different, And when I would go watch Slayer play, or I would watch Pantera play, or see another band play, of course, it's completely different than watching B.B. King play, or watching the Nighthawks play, or watching George Thorogood play. It was a completely different vibe. But then again, the people that are there to watch those other style of music it's kind of their release too.
Yeah.
They're not
Very
going
much.
they're not going through the physical, they're not, tapping into that physical aggression that you and I really like, and that we and that's going to be another thing too. I can't wait. That the day is coming, and there's been lots of comedians that have spoke of this, and lots of people. There's going to be a day soon enough, man. Where there's going to be like complete mosh pits full of like 60-year-old dudes.
Just had enough.
We're going to be out there with our faded tattoos and our all tattered up, like faded Metallica shirts. You remember 1996? You'll be all
We're here.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, man.
I didn't think about that. We're gonna get older, aren't we?
You didn't think about that yet?
I
we
did
are.
not.
It's already happening,
You
bro.
got a good point.
But it's going to be cool, man. And just watching the bands, But yes, I agree. To be able to, that's what I get from playing metal that I don't get when I'm playing the blues.
Yeah,
I don't get.
It's just a different release. Is all. There's
I don't
nothing
get
wrong
to
with
push myself to that absolute physical limit, And that's kind of what I really dug about. You could just everything's there, just comes out, the energy, and you can put that energy into that art. And that's what the heavy music. Now you can do that with any other kind of music, but you sit down behind a drum
you
set
want to do it full
at
tilt.
some small little microbrew somewhere, and I pound the hell out of something like Vinnie Paul would. Everyone's gonna be like, "What in the world?" It's gonna drown out.
Fire the drummer.
Yeah, but
they guarantee they'd be sitting there going, "Yeah, he's a metal drummer."
yeah, and I got that a lot during the blues. I'd have guys come up and go, "Yeah, it's not. You don't approach that like the typical drummer would." And I'm like, "That's my background. It's not there, but I just like to play it how I feel it, how I want to bring how I play to the song. You play with if I'm playing with a particular band." of course it's going to be different than, you know, another drummer playing with that same band. And that's what's cool about music, is you can take any different part and it gives it a whole entire different vibe,
Very much.
a whole different feel, and a whole different release too.
Mhm.
You know, like a different
yeah.
a release of adrenaline, or just that, you know, playing the heavy stuff like you said. It's and trust me, that's still there. That's never going anywhere. That's that's part of what I am, who I do. Or who I do. What? That's bad. I should say that. It's part of what I am and who I am as a person, you know? But I don't want to say
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
It's who I do. No. So, yes, that's where I feel with that. But yeah, you're right. You're right. That is lacking in other genres. And people that aren't into that
not so much
just don't
lacking.
get it.
It's just, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially these days. I mean, you know how it was like when we were kids, like the generation before, they were kind of very stuck in their own genre.
Sorry, man, I'm sitting here and stretching. I keep...
Oh, go ahead, man. You're good. You're still in frame.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
You good. But yeah, oh shit, what was I going to say? Yeah, like the generation before us, they were, most of them that I know, like I said, may have changed. If I'm wrong, bitch me out later. But the people were kind of stuck in like a certain genre. Like some kids I knew growing up, they were stuck in like, I'm only like country, I only like metal.
I was like that. We all were. I was like that until I was probably 30 years old. no, but yeah, I was.
Well, you do get kind of stuff, but then I think that's the one thing I will say about this generation that's coming up. They've been exposed to everything, because playlist, you know as well as I do, a playlist is not judgmental. That's kind of the only truly nice part about the whole thing, other than you can go listen to whatever you want. But that playlist, like some of mine have Chris Stapleton goes to Dope, goes to Slayer, goes to God name it, Raw, to whatever band I've listened to, Bob Marley, some you know. I think today that they're going to be more exposed to everything well-rounded. Like I don't hear that so much anymore, which is a good thing. I won't, you and I were exposed. You know, I mean, you started out with heavy music, but then we got exposed to other things. Like, oh yeah, this is still good. You know, and then you started going to this concert where there's just that. It kind of leans towards that, and then you go to the heavy metal, you go to the reggae, you can go to a different venue to see something else, or a different commutative. To see something else.
I think the internet had a lot to do with that.
Very much.
You know, being able to get exposed to different styles of music, and you know, and I think just being a part of that connection that the people have that we didn't have when we were teenagers. In the beginning, you know, it was collecting magazines and different, you know, looking, and then I can remember sitting in front of a computer loading up an America Online or an AOL page with Metallica tour dates on it. And the page took like 5 minutes to load up, you know, and then we all were like, oh my God, like, when are we going to get to see what they're playing, you know? And then when tickets went on sale, it was like a big deal. We were still like actually going to places to buy them, or, you know.
Or you'd be on the phone for 2 hours straight trying to get through.
I remember that. I kind of miss some of that a little bit. That, you know, the nostalgia side of me kind of misses that, you know. I mean, some of the best memories I have, man, I was 14 years old and waited outside with some of my best friends overnight in line to get tickets to go to our first Metallica concert. You know, and just that experience, you know, when you're a young kid like that, to get to see your favorite band. And, you know, be sitting there all night, you know, and it's something that I don't think that they get to experience today. You know, it's not something that's done too often.
Right, because you just buy them all, you get on there.
I mean, people will camp out for Star Wars tickets for movies and stuff like that, but as far as music goes, it's not, you know.
It's kind of dead,
and
sleeping out in the bitter cold, which, I could understand. That part sucked when you had to, you get to fall or spring when it was cold as hell outside. We
didn't care. That made it even more fun, you know. That was the fun about it, you know. And then getting to go, and then the anticipation, because it used to be you bought tickets for a show and it'd be like 6 months till the concert happened, 7, you know.
And you're making sure those tickets stayed in the drawer, perfectly safe. You checked them at least once every other day at the minimum.
I can remember being in high school and the Metallica tickets being on the refrigerator and then being used as leverage for me, you know, you get in trouble at school. You don't do this, you don't do that. They're not, I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, it wasn't get good grades, get a good job, do good for college. No, it was like, if you're bad, those Metallica tickets are going in the trash. Dude, I was like, I was all right, no problem.
Think about that. That's shit.
Yeah, that's where
parents, you're missing out. You got to
that's where my focus was. So, but yeah, that was a fun thing. That was kind of a cool thing that you talk about with the generation with music, getting to experience that kind of stuff, and going to a concert without everyone holding their cell phone up too.
Yeah.
I mean,
that part, it does.
It doesn't bother me personally. I'm not like one of those guys that's like, put your phone down. But you can literally date a concert or a video. Yeah. Like you can watch an old concert footage from 15 years ago, and you can tell because not everybody in the crowd has their cell phones out filming. They were immersed in the moment.
Right.
They weren't like looking out their screen filming something that was right in front of them. And I get why they want to do it. You want to be able to show people and remember, but at the same time, that was the fun.
You want to experience it.
Yeah, that was fun in going to the show, man. It was like, oh, I wonder what the stage is going to look like, or what kind of setup they're going to have, or what kind, It
was half the,
was half the thrill. Now it's like, it comes out the first night of the tour, every set list, what they're playing. That's kind of cool in a way, too. But it took away from that kind of mystique that came with going to the rock show, man.
You're right on that.
Yeah, dude, it was just to blow my mind. I remember, I'm going to say, like, the first time I saw Pantera was in 1999.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, or no, 2000, sorry, at Ozfest. But then getting to watch them play, I lucked out there. But
yes, you did.
Getting to watch those guys play, like, you didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, we were all like, what are they going to play? What set list? What songs, what stage, what kind of setup is Dime going to have? And then to walk in there and see it, and then, like, experience that. And that was us there that night, man. It wasn't like if you weren't there, you didn't get it. It wasn't like, hey, man, check this out. Look, and...
Yeah, you can't show everybody. You had to have been
It kind of takes away from the atmosphere of the night in itself, too, I think, When everybody's in there and everyone's having a good time and the show's going, everyone was immersed in the moment and not texting or getting a phone call or, something happening. And... That was kind of cool, but I'm not one of them anti-cell phone guys. Well, I can see why people do it. I can see why artists are worried about stuff leaking or like stand-up comedians doing a stand-up special and people filming it and then putting it out there.
Yeah.
And
well, that's exactly. I want to bring up that point because you brought up an interesting thing about talking about this. Like Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, all these guys have. When you come in to see their show, you surrender your phone, you put it in a pouch. If you need to make a phone call, you go outside.
Yeah.
And they've done it. Is that we can't, and musicians, you might want to, everybody from whatever level on up, you might want to take note on this because they have, if you want to answer your phone or do anything, you have to step outside the room and go do it.
Yeah.
It is in a pouch until that. And Dave, Joe, and all them guys brought up a very good point. It's like, we're working this out as we go. We can't be having people in here filming us, and then we're not done with the joke yet. We're working this out and growing as we go.
Yeah.
Which is the same way with a live show. I mean, you're out there. You want to. I mean, the mystique is part of it, but you catch them on the very first show of their tour. They're a little rusty. I mean, they're getting the groove, and then by the end of it, when they're like. It used to be when you got to the end of a tour, you were filming it. You were making that DVD.
Yeah.
For the time.
Oh yeah.
And that show was tight. It was locked. I mean, that last show was normally the best, or 2 shows before it. That's when you're gonna get your best performance because everybody's been through it, and you have that right crowd, and it pulls it in. But comedians don't typically do as big a crowd as what like a major Metallica concert would be.
Yeah.
Or Ariana, or whomever you want to talk about. So to do it would take even longer for everybody to get through the door, but it might be worth it just for everybody to, like you said, experience the show.
I've been to a concert. I went and saw the Misfits, the original lineup of the Misfits play.
What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah,
and that
I've
was
seen
the
the
first
footage.
time. I left my phone in the truck. I'm like, I'm not even going to take it in there and put it in that stupid pouch. But there were more of them pouches laying on the ground around, because people could get in them, and rip it out. But if it comes to the point where you have to like force people to put it away, I think, we should, as people, respect. All right, like this is what we're doing. But I think that's just where it's gone today, man. There's two ways you can either embrace it or full-heartedly fight it. Yeah. But in the end, still something to be said for being there. But I miss the. It is kind of the catch-22 with that. Yeah, it was like just remembering what they're going to play. what set list? I wonder if they're going to play this song. Now we can just pour it up. Oh, the last 3 nights they played this, and this, and you already have an idea of what's going on.
Don't read it. Just go to the show. Like
yeah, man.
Just put the damn phone in your pocket and go and watch. Because you're about to witness something that's going to be very cool. Especially when you're younger, man. You know how it was those first shows we seen?
Ooh.
I seen Seven Dust tear, and the fans start tearing the seats out of the floor. And that was and you see Metallica concerts where they went wild and just and Slipknot. How many times did that pit go nuts?
Actually,
did you not see them too on the first Ozfest?
Which one?
Slipknot.
Yeah, 99. But the thing about it was,
I wasn't around you at that point.
It was that was talking about like the crazy, the crowd reaction and all the different stuff like that goes along with that. That was always part of the fun in it now too. It was seeing how crazy things go. But I got a funny homage. Let's talk about Seven Dust. They were on their second album, Home. They were touring with Creed, and they were opening for Creed. So
please
Jason
continue
and
I love this story.
We got tickets, and we're like, we're just going to see Seven Dust, and I was with our guitar player Drew at the time, I believe, and we met down there, and we were having some beers and hanging out, having a good time. And I remember sitting around in front of the stage, and there was like families with like blankets and people sitting around eating ready for Creed to play, and they had no idea who Seven Dust was. And Seven Dust came out and hit the stage, and it was just like an explosion went off, man. All of us ran up to the front, and there was all these people scrambling, grabbing their kids, and they didn't know what the hell was happening, And there was just this like, there's probably a couple hundred of us, maybe 500 people, just really going off for Seven Dust rocking out.
Yep,
and
no doubt.
That was always cool. The least expecting it part of it,
you
watching
watching
grab their kids and grab them. We're done here,
It's like watching a Megadeth video. It's like, oh shit, this is gonna get good.
Yeah, and
or sorry, Slayer. That gets better.
I've seen some crazy stupid shit go down and some of that, but that's fucking awesome. I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's all part of it, but seeing different stories, seeing different reactions that people get too, like
very much.
Yeah, there's been like one of my all-time favorite artists is Hank 3. And I love Hank 3, man. And I pretty much
punk rock mixed with country.
I've done it. I like everything he's done. I like the 3-bar ranch. I like the the ADD, all the crazy.
You're the one that got me started on him.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
And going to watch his shows. There's been multiple times where we used to go to the Chameleon Club in Lancaster when it was downtown there. And there would always be these older people that they just see Hank 3 or Hank Williams. They'd all be there to watch, thinking it's going to be some like ho-dunk country thing. And then when he comes out on stage and it just blows up. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. My favorite show till this day. I mean, as far as crowd reaction and just having a good time. I love 3. I mean, I love the energy. And there's another example of mixing. That's a good. How he did. He has his own style, man. The Hellbilly style, dude. I'm a diehard fan. In fact, if I had to pick, if you had to tell me who are some of the people that you would love to play with, he would be probably number 2. I mean, I would
really.
Oh, I would love to jam and be able, because I love all of his records, especially some of the stuff from the past 10 or 15 years. It's just some of my favorite stuff, man.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. I love his tunes, and I hope to see him. I hope he tours soon. I hope he does a new record.
Yes.
I would really love to see him out on the road again. To be able to
the
go
drummer in that band is out of his damn head, mixing that kind of punk with that kind of country type drive that. Chattanooga.
Yeah, man.
The drive he has with that is very different.
The different styles of train grooves, man. Mixed with the
train
punk rock
thank you. That's yes.
And the metal stuff and how they make it work. And that's what's so cool. I mean, the different musicians he's had playing with him over the years too, man. And the damn band, as he called it. And there's other different, incantations of, I hope that's the right word.
It sounds correct.
It sounds correct.
If not, somebody will correct us later.